And that's the point, I think, of new technologies, which is great. And I think so. Let's narrow this focus a little bit to the technology we're talking about e-mobility. Like, we probably walked around them on the sidewalks. We saw people using them. They're relatively new. There's a lot to learn. Tell us a little bit of that from your viewpoint. What are the misconceptions? What should we know?
Yeah, so I'll start by saying, being in DC in this area, I will say that the landscape for something as simple as an e-bike is totally different than where I'm from in North Carolina. You don't see a lot of e-bikes, but what we know is that regardless of what that, landscape looks like, the safety challenges associated with these products doesn't change. And so what we know about e-bikes, what we know about a lot of products that are incorporating batteries is that really, because of that lithium-ion battery, there are some safety risks. And introducing, electrified forms of transportation doesn't necessarily mean that we can introduce like new hazards to the marketplace. We don't want to do that. And so really, when it comes down to these e-mobility products, we know that the lithium-ion battery, again, introduces a level of risk that we have to be aware of. We'll talk a little bit about what some of those are, but primarily, what most of you have probably seen in the news is battery fires. Related to e-bikes, related to e-scooters. Understanding what those are, how those are caused. If we had a whiteboard up here, it would be dangerous for me. But understanding...
Stick around afterwards at the bar and we can go into it more, right?
But knowing the science behind these products is important, but understanding how those products can interact with different things with different users is important as well. And as standards developers, those are all inputs that go into what goes into that standard and how that standard can ensure safety.
And two more misconceptions too. There's kind of this idea that this is a New York City problem. It's not just a New York City problem. It's really present everywhere. So it's really important that cities and states start really taking a hard look at this issue. I think another one is that, it's just wealthy people buying these expensive e-bikes and e-scooters or whatever the device is, and that's not true either. Actually, according to our data, shows that over half of the consumers who purchase these devices are actually doing so for work purposes. So that's really key that we're maintaining access for those people to carry out their daily lives.
So it's